welcome back to my development vlog for the drone. This time, if the audio files in front of you didn't give it away, we're gonna be talking about audio! Which, if you're a random watcher who has stumbled upon this vlog, you don't know the absolute drama that has been going on with audio. But if you do know me, then you know the absolute, shenanigans, shall we say, that I have, put myself through. I mean, well, I don't know if yeah, it's been a real trip. So, when I went into doing the audio for this, I wanted it to be pretty realistic. So when I say that, I mean when you're playing, I wanted it so you could always hear what's going around, or going on around, you know, the human character that you're playing as, because you're the human. And then when you're controlling the drone, I wanted you to also hear what the drone could hear. You know, like if you were holding a tablet in front of you and you could hear what was going on with the drone, like coming out the speakers or whatever. And so I was gonna do like some audio effects just to make it a little like tinny or something. I don't know. I was gonna play around with it. Never even got to that point. So, because I can't do it. I don't know how many hours I spent just looking up anything I could. I genuinely don't want to look at my history to see just how many sites and YouTube videos and just I can't even tell you. I've read so much Unreal documentation, and what's the worst part about that though is I know it is theoretically possible because they have a built-in system to handle like split screen, so the engine can handle two listeners being in the same screen and like having the same audio output, because they have it built in as to whoever the closest listener, which I should probably clarify what a listener is, because if you don't know what I'm talking about, no one knows what I'm talking about when because I've asked so many people if they know any way to get to do what I wanted to do, and I'd be like, so I've managed to get the listener overridden, and they're like, what's a listener? And I'm like, okay, yeah, we're not gonna, so a listener is what Unreal calls the, point at which sound is heard. Wow, surprise, surprise, it's a listener. Self-explanatory, sort of. And that point that the sound is hearing from, can be moved. You can override its location. By default, I think it's attached to the camera that you're occupying. But I managed to figure out how to override it because a bunch of people were saying, hey, I want it to be on my character's player model. So when you're doing like a third-person camera, wherever the person is facing is where the sound's gonna hear, rather than where the player is moving the camera around, because that's not where the player is facing, and that's, that kind of thing. And so people have figured that one out. And back to the I know it's theoretically possible, when you have two people on the same instance, in order to prevent any sort of echoing and audio rebounding and I forget the exact words for it because it's been 2 weeks since I read all this, they have just whichever is the closest listener to the sound, if both of them can hear it, whichever one is closer is the only one it'll play for. It won't play for both. So I know for a fact that is functionality built in. It has the capability to handle two listeners. However, I have absolutely no goddamn idea how to put two listeners into the game. I don't know if it's just something that automatically gets added when you're doing split screen. I don't, because that's the only thing I can assume it is. Like, as soon as you say, hey, I'm playing split screen, I have 2 controllers here, it's like, oh, okay, here's another listener. There's no way to just make your own. Which is incredibly frustrating, because I had so much hope when I was reading that article. It was an Unreal doc talking about it, and it gave me such false hope, and like yeah, no, it's not possible. So, and you know, I had a few people who were helping me out. Professor Santello was like, hey, what if we tried rapidly firing between the 2 listeners, or like rapid fire moving the listener. That was not good. You can imagine it took a lot to get it to even work, because so what I had was like on a tick, every tick would swap, you know, one to the other, one to the other, one to the other, over and over. And what was happening was only one listener was like hearing anything and the other one just wasn't. So I tried adding a delay, which you'll see me eventually doing the delay stuff and just absolutely dying trying to get the delay stuff working, because I didn't know how delays work. So that's also something I have learned. I have now learned how delays work. And I've also figured out a good way of like making it so a tick isn't going off until I need it to go off, like having a boolean. It's like, it's a really simple system. But I was pretty proud of figuring that out, and did a lot of research on delays and trying to get it so that way there'd be just a tiniest little break between one going off and the other going off. And yeah, once I finally got the back and forth working, I very quickly realized that all of that time had been wasted, because it was a bit like someone clicking a light switch, but with your ears. It was so bad. It was so bad. Oh god, it was seizure time, but audio. It was so funny, because it's like I finally got it working, and it was like, oh, that's not okay. So, yeah, I had to abandon that one. But, oh yeah, this is me debugging. So there is going to be a little bit of footage of me doing other things other than audio, just because my ADD brain would find a bug and need to fix it immediately. So, there is a little bit of that in here, and I don't have enough time to go and edit out that, so, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, it's all me developing. It's a development blog. But yeah, so you'll see me eventually get to the delay stuff, and then, yeah. So now I'm just sort of headcanoning that the human person is wearing like noise-canceling headphones or something. And anytime they're controlling the drone, they've got those headphones on, so you can't hear what's going on around you. You can still see out of the corner of the tablet, so maybe that'll make it even more horrifying. I don't know. We're gonna see. Or actually, we might not even really be able to see, because I think Mika's changing the lighting up, so it's like absolutely pitch black everywhere. Which, on that note, I've added a brightness slider that actually works now. So if you don't like how dark he's making it, you can turn the lighting up. It does look spooky. I gotta give him to that. It does look very spooky. I also finally got the eye adjusting to stop working. I thought I had disabled the eye adjusting thing, where like it like goes way crazy with you look at a dark thing and it brightens up or whatever, like it's really dark, and yeah, I don't like how Unreal handles the eye adjustment thing. It doesn't feel natural, like, at all. And like I said, I thought I disabled it, but it turns out I half disabled it, if no one online can agree on how to disable it. So I did both methods of disabling it, and it has, in fact, finally been disabled. So that's a thing, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. And I feel like that's all the audio stuff that I really wanted to talk about today. Other than the fact that, like, I'm trying to, like, make music for the first time ever. Like, I know how to play music. I have played the cello. Oh god, how long has it been since I played the cello? Or since I started playing, I could say. Oh, I don't feel like doing math right now. It was before 4th grade. It was the summer before 4th grade that I started playing. And, I graduated a long time ago. Let's see. 2009 was 6th grade. Like, the end of half of 6th grade. If you feel like doing the math, you can do the math. It's been a long time. And so I can read sheet music pretty well. And I do know how the other clefs work and all that fun stuff. I used to know, some music theory, but all of that has promptly left my brain since I was no longer being quizzed on it. Like I was back in high school. But, like, I know minor keys are, you know, good for the spook. So I've been trying to compose some stuff in, like, a minor, like, A minor. Because it has no sharps and flats, and I don't feel like dealing with sharps and flats. So, yeah, it's been a thing. I've been using, oh god, I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's like Bosca seal oils. I'll put how it's spelled on the screen right now. And it's a lot of fun. It's really interesting to use, although it's also a pain in the butt, to do anything in it. But, I've got some interesting things in the work. Andy's actually been helping me out quite a bit, cause I didn't realize that he was actually interested in, like, composing music, but apparently he is. So he was giving me a hand, and we're probably gonna work on it a bit more together in a bit. But I actually have a bit of a problem. I have really bad tinnitus, fun fact. And so that means I have just this constant high-pitched tone, which makes it really hard to both, like, hear things and understand, like, the key properly, if that makes sense. So I, like, need him to double-check what I'm doing, because I just can't. And I also need him to, like, help me, like, audio balance things, because I actually have a pretty decent dip in my range of hearing and, like, the speaking range. So whenever I'm, like, editing footage or something, I have to ask him to make sure that I didn't make the voices too loud, because to me it sounds good, and to everyone else it doesn't. So, yeah, fun facts with Joyce. So yeah, composing audio for the first time is gonna be some crazy synthy, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe them. But yeah, so I'm working on that, working on the audio. I need to start putting all the audio in. I've sort of been procrastinating actually implementing the audio. I have one sound effect put in right now, and that's tapping on the tablet. I've edited quite a few. I still have a whole bunch more to edit, including a really cool sound from my dad's, like, he has this leg machine, and it does this, like, pressurization to, like, squeeze his leg, basically, well, his legs, and it does this, like, meow sound, and it's kind of creepy if you don't know what it is. So I need to edit that and figure out where I can put it, because it's awesome and I want to use it. But yeah, I think that's all of the audio fun facts and shenanigans that have happened. Yeah, I feel like that's about everything that I really wanted to talk about. So I'll just go ahead and once again let the probably same music take over, because I'll be honest, I've been really stressed with all of this. I still have a lot to do, and I can't waste time finding music again like I did last time. So, the current, I don't know if I mentioned this in the last video, but I had 11.5 hours of footage accumulated in that first half, and it wasn't really a half, it was more like 2 months, wasn't it? I don't remember. That first section of the semester, I got 11.5 hours of footage that was just me implementing stuff into the project file, none of my test file. And so same here, just me working in the actual project file, none of my test file stuff. So that means none of my, like, figuring out how to main menu, which I mostly figured out the main menu. I'm not gonna get into the whole main menu story in this because this is audio, but, like, I did most of my main menu on my own because I didn't like how most people were handling it. I got some inspiration from a couple places, but it was a very long run of figuring out main menu and saving and just, like, understanding how it works so that way I could do it my way, because I didn't like how it was being handled by most of the tutorials I was finding. Definitely learned a lot from the tutorials, but did my own thing for the most part. And, yeah, that was a lot of time I spent figuring that out. And so not including all of that figuring it out, I have now for the second half, so first half, like I said, 11.5 hours. Second half, 16 hours. And this footage we're watching right now, just about 3 hours of that footage. So, which has been sped up by 1,000% to get it close to, what is it at? 2235? Nice. Yeah, it's, I've my brain's melted, I'll be honest, this last couple days. I literally didn't do anything yesterday but implement the save system into the folder, the project. I'm melting. So I'm gonna tap out, because otherwise I'm gonna keep rambling. Oh no, it's 10 o'clock. Sorry. God, everything's falling apart. It's okay. It's going. It's going. So yeah, I'm gonna shut up now, because, yeah. Talk to you next time.
Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way, yeah. Birds chirping and I hear my name, grasping into life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah. Gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Savannah, Savannah. I'm coming home, Savannah. We'll never be alone, Savannah. The beauty of the world, Savannah. Let's all take a walk, Savannah. I'm coming home, Savannah. We'll never be alone, Savannah. The beauty of the world, Savannah. Let's all take a walk. Savannah, I'm coming home, Savannah. We'll never be alone, Savannah.